Good morning, everyone. Christos Anesti. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers who celebrate in our community today. And of course, I must wish a special happy Mother's Day to my own mom, who no doubt will be listening to this sermon later today, as she does every Sunday. Yes, my mom always listens to my sermons, and she's constantly supportive of me in all the work that I do. In fact, if I told my mom, you know, Mom, I think I really want to try and become an astronaut, she'd probably say, bravo, Christo, you'll be the best astronaut ever. If I told my Mom, I think I want to play football again. I think I can make it into the NFL and onto the Niners. She'd say, bravo, Christo, you will be a better quarterback than Brock Purdy. You will win the Super Bowl. Yes, no matter what I decide to do, my mom has full faith in me. She is ever supportive of me and always believes in me. And why does she believe in me? Because she loves me. There is no love like the love a mother has for her children. Mothers love their children, they believe in them, and they support them no matter what. This kind of love and support is very rare in life. So thank God for our mothers. Thank God for them, because the world can be quite an unloving place. It can be a rather cold place where support is almost never offered. This unwavering belief that mothers have for their children is precisely the kind of unwavering belief that God calls us to have in Him. Faith and belief are the cornerstones of our connection to God and Jesus Christ. How can God work in our lives if our faith in Him is weak and wavering? If you struggle with your faith, then today's gospel passage is for you. Do not feel discouraged if deep down you aren't as strong in your faith as you'd like to be, because today we see that even one of Christ's own apostles, Thomas, had trouble believing that Christ had really risen from the dead. After his crucifixion and death, Christ resurrected and appeared to a group of his disciples, but the disciples were not all together. Thomas, who was not with the group that Christ appeared to, simply would not believe that Christ had returned. Thomas says to the others who tried telling him that Christ appeared, "Unless I see in his hands the print of the nails, and place my finger on the mark of the nails, and place my hand in his side, I will not believe." Unless is the word he used to start that sentence. Such an interesting statement by Thomas. His faith and belief in God seem to be conditional. In other words, he is waiting for something to prove to him that God is real, and simply will not believe on his own. And sadly, many of us are the same way, aren't we? Once we finally maybe catch the big break in life, then we can feel reassured that God must be real. Only if God works in ways that we are looking for can He be real. But fortunately for us, God is patient. He knows we have these little hang-ups, these reservations when it comes to our faith, so He often meets us where we are. 8 days after Thomas tells the disciples he can't believe that Christ returned, Christ appears to him. And Christ is not upset with him, but rather meets him where he is, and he says, "Put your finger here and see my hands, and put out your hand and place it in my side." But then Christ challenges Thomas directly when he says to him, "Do not be faithless, but believing." Do not be faithless, but believing. This is such a simple yet powerful challenge. It can be used in many different contexts. Oftentimes, in social settings, people, for whatever reason, feel the need to tell me why they haven't been to church lately, perhaps. And I simply want to respond to them, do not be faithless, but believing. If we believe, we would come to church just as all of you have done today. If our faith is real, we will act on it. It will guide our lives no matter how busy we are. It can be hard to envision the kind of pure faith and belief that Jesus asks of Thomas today. So thank God we have our own mothers as examples of pure faith and sincere belief. A faith and belief that is rooted in unwavering love. This is the love that God is looking for from each one of us. He knows that only through love can a strong faith and belief take root. And when they do, our lives will be guided accordingly. So take a minute today. Tell your mom how much you appreciate her belief in you. Tell her how much her love and support means to you in your life. Once we reflect on that, perhaps we can work on developing such a belief in God himself. Thomas responds to Christ's challenge of do not be faithless, but believing by proclaiming the words, my Lord and my God. A personal affirmation that God is real to Thomas. My Lord and my God, he says, and finally his belief is stronger than ever. Let us all think about the strength of our belief in God. If it wavers, how can we make it unwavering? If our belief is weak, how can we become stronger than ever? Instead of waiting for God to prove himself to us for us to believe, let us simply choose to believe in him unconditionally. He said to Thomas, put your finger here and see my hands, and put out your hand and place it in my side. Do not be faithless, but believing. Thomas answered him, my Lord and my God. Jesus said to him, have you believed because you have seen me? Blessed are those who have not seen and yet believe. Amen.